Hello. I hope you have been well. Many of you may be aware that on the 6th of June, J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter novels, tweeted something. She was basically taking a pot shot, a very cheap pot shot, I felt, to an online article which referred to people who menstruate. She didn't like it very much, so she immediately took to Twitter to say that people who menstruate, surely there was a word for it, help me out over here. And then she went on to give a series of nonsensical words which sounded like women. Her point was, as she goes on to say later, that sex is real, and she goes on to say that if sex isn't real, there's no same-sex attraction. And not having done with it, she continues, if sex isn't real, the lived reality of women globally is erased. I know and love trans people, but erasing the concept of sex removes the ability of many to meaningfully discuss their lives. It isn't hate to speak the truth. I am not going to discuss J.K. Rowling's comment the way in which it has been discussed so far, which is she has been called transphobic, quite rightly, because what she is broadly saying is that only women menstruate. That seems to be her point. So by doing that, she is clearly denying the existence of trans men who menstruate, or indeed trans men who believe that they are men who menstruate. So therefore menstruation is not the sole preserve of women, and of course there are women who don't menstruate, so that is also something that needs to be taken into account. So there are various reasons why J.K. Rowling can, with some justification, be called out for her transphobia. There are other people who are very quick to say that just because J.K. Rowling has actually made these very transphobic comments does not mean that Harry Potter novels aren't worth reading anymore. People should still read them because they're still cracking good stories and all of that. Some others have gone to the Harry Potter novels, and they have discovered how the Harry Potter novels are actually not quite as wonderful, politically speaking, as is usually credited. Apparently there are various problems about the way in which the world of Hogwarts school functions. Some have gone to the novel that she wrote subsequently under a pseudonym, and people have found that there is actually a very, very transphobic representation of a trans character in that novel which J.K. Rowling wrote not under her own name. I am not going to go into all of that. I am much more interested in looking at the later part of the tweet. So this is where I would wish to begin. If sex isn't real, there's no same-sex attraction. When I heard that, or when I read that, that actually set me thinking. And here is what I thought. There is no same-sex attraction. Let me explain this. There is no same-sex attraction, and by therefore logic, we can also do away with the term homosexuality, but I'll come to that later. There is no same-sex attraction. Why do I mean that there is no same-sex attraction? It's because the term same-sex attraction presumes that you are attracted to a person of your own sex. Now, even if I take the myth of sex to be true, even if I say that there is something called biological sex, which isn't the case, that basically means that a person experiencing same-sex attraction is experiencing an attraction, or does experience attraction, for people of the same sex. If you think about it very carefully, is that true? So if you say that no, I don't experience same-sex attraction, I experience opposite-sex attraction. Okay, wonderful. If you say that you experience opposite-sex attraction, that basically means that you are attracted to people of the opposite sex. Now here is the thing. Are you attracted to all people of the opposite sex? Because logically, that should be the case. You should therefore, if you're a man, you should be finding every woman attractive. But the point of the matter is that you don't. You don't find every woman attractive. You find some women attractive. So therefore, the sex of the body that you are attracted to is not important over here. What is important over here are various other things such as class, such as caste, and even if you say that, oh, no. When I'm attracted to certain persons, I don't look at their caste, I don't look at their class. Sure, then what you are certainly looking at is at least their gender presentation. And even if you are not looking at their gender presentation, then that makes it even more complicated. So if you say, no, I'm not looking at their gender presentation either because I'm, what is that word? Sapiosexual. If you say that you're sapiosexual, then you're not even attracted to the gender. You're not even attracted to the sex. You're attracted to the mind of the person. So therefore, if you say that you're sapiosexual, you are not attracted to people of your supposedly own sex, you're not attracted to people of supposedly the opposite sex, you're only attracted to people with whom you enjoy talking, which can be anyone. It can be a man, it can be a woman, it can be a trans man, it can be a trans woman, it can be an agender person, it can be anybody at all. So therefore, same-sex attraction does not exist. I would like to tell J.K. Rowling, in the same way that opposite-sex attraction does not exist. We are not attracted to sexes. We are attracted to gender presentations. We are attracted to people on the basis of what they look like, or if you're sapiosexual, what they sound like, what they say. So yes, same-sex attraction doesn't exist because there's no sex. Then she goes on to say, if sex isn't real, the lived reality of women globally is erased. No. The lived reality of the lived reality of women globally is not erased, because those who identify as women, and they're entirely within their rights to identify as women, you are then assuming that all women are going to speak as cis women. Surely that is an assumption that you can't make. Because if a trans woman says that she is not a trans woman but she is a woman, you better accept her as a woman. You have no right to tell her, let me tell you what you are. You think you're a woman, but I think you're not a woman. You have no right to tell a trans person that. So therefore, no. You can actually get away from the category of sex and certainly talk about the lived reality of women globally, because globally women still function as gendered beings. Whether you're a cis woman or whether you're a trans woman, you're still gendered in the eyes of the globe. So no, you can still talk about the lived reality of women globally, even if you erase the sex. The discussion will not be affected. I know and love trans people. Okay, I don't know where that came from. It is basically like a Hindu bigot who says, oh, I know and love Muslims. Some Muslims are good. but there are these other Muslims who are bad, as opposed to all Hindus who are good. I know and love trans people, but erasing the concept of sex removes the ability of many to meaningfully discuss their lives. No, no, you can absolutely, in fact, the discussion of your life is going to become even more meaningful if you get rid of the sex. Because once you have got rid of the sex, you will realize that the category of sex was preventing you from talking about certain things that have happened to you, and those patriarchal preventive measures, if they're done away with, it will become easier for you to talk about yourself than it is if you keep the sex category unchallenged. Think about it. If you are, say for example, a trans woman, and if you are going to go for your sexual or urinary problems, where do you go? Because you see, the medical facilities that are available right now, they are only labeled for men and women. But if you're a trans woman, that is to say, you gender present yourself as a woman, but you have not undergone gender reassignment surgery, sex reassignment surgery, so therefore you still have your penis. But then where do you go? Because you are going to be shown the gynecological ward. But your problem is not gynecological. Because your body, your genitalia is still recognized in the medical sciences as male. Do you see the problem here? But if you had got rid of the category of sex, if the wards had been named under, say, urinary problems that deal with, and then you can come up with a name for the arrangement in which the urinary tract usually appears in those bodies that are assigned sex male at birth, then it would become easier for anybody to go into that ward without having to say which sexed body they were born with. So no, if you can actually erase the concept of sex, then it actually heightens the ability of many people and of everybody to talk meaningfully about their lives. She ends the tweet by saying, "It isn't hate to speak the truth." No, it isn't, certainly. It's not hate to speak the truth. But what J.K. Rowling needs to understand is that what she thinks is the truth is the patriarchal truth. And here is the big news of the day. Patriarchal truth is a lie. The sooner J.K. Rowling realizes this, the happier she will be, and she can then talk about her life very meaningfully indeed. I hope that someday, somewhere, J.K. Rowling gets to watch this video. She's welcome to get in touch with me. I will be perfectly happy to have a cup of tea with her. I can even serve her Earl Grey. I hope you're having a good time. Bye bye till we meet again for my next video.